How about 1,000 words?
What are you trying to do? Talk to him to death?
Something like that.
Would you mind watching your blade?
Don't forget we're silent killers.
It seems like you're questioning my character or my way to fight.
I'm questioning your honor. Ever since the debate, you haven't been yourself. Speaking out of terms. Don't forget where you come from and know your place. That's more like it.
This is a piece of cake.
Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins, a new film that's been released by theaters, being directed by Robert Swanke, and this film stars Henry Golden as Snake Eyes, Andrew Koji as Storm Shadow, Samara Weaving as Scarlet. On Snake Eyes Origins, Snake Eyes is a tenacious loner who is welcomed into an ancient Japanese clan. Upon arrival in Japan, the clan teaches Snake Eyes the ways of the ninja warrior, while also providing something he's been longing for, a home. But when secrets from his past are revealed, Snake Eyes' honor and allegiance will be tested, even if that means losing the trust of those closest to him. And we have the origin story of Snake Eyes. Now, I don't have much knowledge onto the G.I. Joe lore, but I do have a little bit of knowledge on Snake Eyes. And Snake Eyes, he's like that one character that's in the background as silent and badass. Due to the death of his master, he has made an oath to never utter another word again for the rest of his life. And since then, he hasn't said one word. He's been silent for most of his life. And that is his character. Henry Golding plays that character. He plays the character Snake Eyes, and you're following this character's journey and throughout this movie, like in the first act. In that first act, you get like a different feel while you're watching this movie, because the first two movies was more like PG-13, family-oriented fun with a little bit of cheesy dialogue, and the second movie took a step in a different direction, but the film wasn't as good as the first, unfortunately. And they were planning a trilogy, so they canceled the trilogy, thank God. So in this movie right here, takes a darker direction than your other G.I. Joe movies. That's pretty much the whole focus of the movies. It's basically a familiar revenge plot of Snake Eyes coming the character he is, trying to avenge his father, because at a young age he witnessed his father's death. Where the honor and allegiance comes in, and that revolves heavily on Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes' character. I feel like that the chemistry between those two characters definitely grew in this movie. And the interesting thing about his character in this movie, that writing in this film has an interesting way of developing his character through the gray areas. Because there are moments in this movie where you're kind of not rooting for the main character. You're rooting for the other characters to succeed. Gray areas, as I mentioned before, this is where the gray areas puts the emphasis towards his character, where the audience is not really gravitating towards the main character on an emotional level. If it focuses on the gray area, then it has to put an emphasis on the black and white and bring in development of why the black and white exists. The film doesn't do a good job of relaying what exactly is portraying in the black and white. The moral of the story is everything comes back full circle, and that right there goes all the way back why the film took a different direction to the character. The story was okay. It has a familiar plot you've seen before, a familiar revenge plot, but we got the other characters. We're talking about some really hardcore characters, some fan favorites. Hardmaster, Blind Master, Scarlet, Baroness. Those characters appear in this movie. While you're watching this movie, I don't really feel like a huge thrill to these additional cool characters. Like, we're getting some cool action sequences, and Samara Weaving, who plays Scarlet, I feel like she was underutilized, and the actress who plays Baroness was underutilized. I just felt like they weren't really characters that were truly additions to the plot itself, but more for fan service, because I just felt like these characters were additional DLC characters. I didn't feel like they were characters that actually added substance to the story. This film was cool. This film has some good performances from Henry Golding. Samara Weaving was good as Scarlet. You know, the chick who played Baroness was also good as well. But I feel like this is more like X-Men Wolverine Origins. It doesn't justify existence. Like, the film didn't justify existence when I was watching it. Yes, this film has some cool, compelling aspects towards it, but some of the compelling aspects was the detriment. And the fact matter is, I find a hard time gravitating towards Snake Eyes, because there's supposed to be like an emotional, tragic development with his character, which is supposed to be part of his character, the importance of these characters, what makes Snake Eyes Snake Eyes. So there was supposed to be this thing that they're hinting that the film was hinting and alluding to, but it doesn't go there, and that's where the audience can get lost. Now, the fight choreography and the fight sequences was really cool, you know, but jarring to look at. Because of how this film was directed, it was directed poorly, because of the cinematography was horrid, and there's a lot of shaky cam and the action sequences. Like, there's a lot of shaky cam where you really can't tell who was punching who, or who was getting punched, or where the punch is coming from. You basically got to use your ears just to listen to hear who's getting punched. Just all over the place, where I felt like that director was trying to use the shaky cam to put an emphasis on the fight sequences, but end up becoming the detriment to the fight sequences. It was underwhelming with a little bit of enjoyment, but yet I still find myself a little short-handed on the third act. Maybe because the film doesn't do a good job of pulling you in due to the flaw of putting him in the gray area. How can you enjoy a character if a film never explains the importance of the character? Then basically you have a version of Mulan. And unfortunately, it's a washed up G.I. Joe movie. It's something I just couldn't gravitate toward. I'm gonna have to give Snake Eyes G.I. Joe a Val Kilmer Batman. This is a guilty pleasure in my eyes. That's my review of Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins. Have you seen Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins? Comment below and let's talk about it. And I'll see you guys in my next review. And if you like everything you see and you agree, subscribe to my channel and join me in the Batman family. I have more Batman-tastic reviews in the way. You have been warned. Till then, ciao. G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I. Joe is there. G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I. Joe's there. G.I. Joe, American